I'm recording. Hello. We're back.
We're back.
We're
hungover.
We're hungover, but I'm hungover in a really wonderful way.
You are.
I'm like unbearably
lucky you. I'm
charming. Wait, no, I wanted to do it. I had a bit that I wanted to do.
Do your bit, yeah.
The following episode of Red Scare contains bisexuals, trans, Jews, Latinos, sex, and violence.
We're obviously
slurs
about Euphoria.
Yeah, because every episode
Euphoria.
Every episode of Euphoria has the following episode contains sex and violence and bisexual teenagers.
Get it. Not since Game of Thrones has there been so much full frontal dick.
Ooh, so much full frontal dick on Euphoria. I guess if you haven't seen it, don't watch it.
Yeah.
I guess there'll be spoilers.
Yes, there's gonna be a ton of spoilers,
but none of it really matters because the show doesn't matter.
Because Dasha, you said it best. It's like the best show to scroll through your phone.
Yeah, to just like vaguely watch and look and be like, oh, the teens, what are these Zoomers up to now? Oh, they seem like they're in a real bad place.
Sucking or doing drugs or being depressed in bed and binge watching TV. I was watching on the couch and I had my laptop open and was scrolling the phone and the TV on. Yeah.
I'm such a genius that I need more stimulation than Euphoria provides. So I need to multitask
to watch one show anymore.
No, I have to shop online and text my friends and do drugs and be blacked out while I watch it. So full disclosure, we haven't finished watching it.
Yeah, we were going to. I was so ashamed.
I couldn't get through it. And then I watched most of it really drunk, really drunk. But I made some really drunk notes on my phone, and I think that I had some good ideas.
Stupid little wigger. I don't know. I just want to, before we get into Euphoria, I want to give a shout out to the Prez for his top notch.
AOC is a whack job.
AOC is a whack job tweet. I'm glad that he saw through it and could see her kind of Lisa Novak driving cross country in an adult diaper to break up somebody else's marriage. Crazy
whack
eyes.
Job. Perfect.
Those crazy eyes. God. Somebody really, because I'm always on my like libs or asexual tip, but somebody was like, actually, she seems like she is a crazy freak.
She fucks.
I wouldn't be surprised if she like doms that ginger boyfriend in the bedroom.
Pegs him.
Yeah.
Have you ever pegged anyone?
The hell no. Nobody's even asked me. I've been asked to do all sorts of fucked up shit, but I won't go there.
I don't want to.
It doesn't seem fun or erotic.
I don't want to. Yeah, no one's asked me. We're not the kind of girls that you ask. I mean, maybe, I guess, I could see how someone could, if you're like in a misinformed way, be like, want one of us to peg them, but they'd be wrong.
Yeah.
In thinking that we would.
Yeah. I'm always shocked when people are like, I want Anna or Dasha to dom me.
Yeah.
Like, really? Because I want you to like break my arms.
I want you to punch me in the face.
Yeah. My idea.
I want to whimper and cry.
Like the dominant daddy sex act in Euphoria.
Oh, yeah. Wider. Yeah. Open your mouth wider.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Spit.
Oh, spit. Yeah. I love spit. Spit's a big turn on for me, actually.
I don't want to like peg anyone. I don't want to flog anyone. I don't want to humiliate anyone's dick.
I think I'm becoming more sadistic as I get older. I think sadomasochism is multifaceted, but I think I was much more straightforwardly a masochist when I was younger. And now as I'm getting older, I'm kind of like, I could see myself degrading someone. I could bully. I'm open to it.
Really? Sexually? I like degrading people publicly, but sexually, I'm all about getting degraded.
I had a breakthrough a couple years ago that I told my therapist about, where I was trying to masturbate without watching porn, which was big for me because I was like I thought I was addicted to porn, as I mentioned before. You know what? This is a free one, huh?
Yeah. So your parents are listening.
My parents might listen to it. I don't want to.
I'm sorry, Dimitri and Elena. Hey, Diana.
I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to say it.
Okay. You know what? Save it for the paywall, because I know the listeners are probably chomping at the bit to hear your porn addiction tale. We can.
Moving on. My point is, that I find myself having sadistic impulses more nowadays, and that it's something I'm interested in, but I don't really want to really BDSM is so corny.
It's so embarrassing. Imagine,
and that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in like accoutrement outside of like the fun outfits that I like to put on.
Yeah. I
don't want like accessories or like contracts or anything like that. I just want to call someone a loser, basically.
Sure. Yeah, but I don't. Who wants to sign like an NDA, and then there's just like a bunch of like vegan leather harnesses that you have to put on, and it's like really embarrassing.
Boo.
To have your like aging, pathetic flesh stretched out, and, like fucking
truly
leaking over.
Yeah.
Leather garments.
I don't want to put any like boots on and stomp on anyone.
Like
I'm just want to like
square toe
emotionally abuse men who I find to be increasingly pathetic.
Yeah. And I think that's your problem, Dasha, which is the problem of all of us women, is that as we get older, we realize men are increasingly pathetic. They were always pathetic, but
I know.
We were so young and we were just so happy to get their attention.
And now I'm hostile and I resent their disgusting desires.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Because you can see like it's like 4-dimensional chess. It's not even, it's like 2-dimensional chess because men are retarded. You like can see like 8 steps ahead what they're thinking and planning. And they're all up in everybody's DMs trying to fuck everybody. I'm like, don't you have standards or a type? Like,
I'd like to call someone out.
Oh yeah, do it. Do it.
I'm going to be messy. I'm going to be messy. I don't care.
Do it.
BJ Novak is up in everybody's DMs and everyone knows about it, and all the girls
such a raging hard on when he hears you say this.
All the girls talk about it, and he should know that like the e-girls they talk amongst themselves.
Yeah,
we talk and we know that he's up in everyone's DMs.
Yeah, I met a guy the other day.
The audacity
is always up in my DMs, but then is up in the DMs of all of my friends. Both of my roommates who I live with. It's like, you don't think that we'll be able to triangulate
What's going
with
on?
Your sweet nothings?
Yeah. Sorry. I don't care.
Listen, I would respect them more if they, like cover their tracks a little and were a little bit smoother.
Discretion is very sexy to me.
Yeah.
And I'd love to meet a man who's never taken a selfie. That would be really the dream. That would
be really hot. Or like post. I guess it's
posted a selfie. Sure.
All men have taken.
Everyone, sure,
has taken a selfie.
But yeah, someone who's like kind of discreet and offline would maybe be my romantic ideal at this point in my life.
It's really hard to find.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm not discreet. I'm messy.
Yeah, but that's fine for women. I think straight men should
The internet's for girls.
Selfies. It's for girls and gays.
Guys need to get offline. Social media. They can use the computer for...
Google, like, directions.
Yeah, but, like, especially if they use it
to Google the easiest way to kill your girlfriend. The least messy. You dissolve her in a vat of acid.
I'd rather be, like, cheated on than... have my boyfriend like up in someone's DMs, honestly.
Me too.
Like I'd rather him have like a discreet ass secret affair.
That's
like tortured and private than like be up in chicks' DMs being horny. That's pathetic. Repulsive.
Yeah. Like up in the DMs like, hey girl, I date Dasha from Red Scare. But
fuck.
I would rather have a man cheat on me than any host of what I think are way more major infractions.
Yeah.
Like being extremely online or being overly stylish.
Or stifling my creativity.
Yeah.
Or holding me back from being a vessel for God's will.
Yeah. Like there's nothing wrong. Like if a man is discreet about his affairs, there's,
Then what's the problem?
We would prefer that you didn't, but at least it's a sign of life. God. That you're like virile and vivacious.
Yeah.
And want to spray the world with your seed.
But sign of life. That's beautiful. That's nice.
Where like shopping for the perfect like straight leg pants and like bomber jacket, that's for chicks, bro. This is really turning into a rant against manhood.
Yeah. That's also for girls.
Yeah, all of it. It's disgusting.
Guys are so gay.
Should we briefly talk about the Liz Warren thing?
Oh yeah, I haven't been following. I've been so busy.
Me too. I've been so busy getting blackout drunk and yelling at my boyfriend.
I truly am busy. I'm like under the wire. I'm on a real schedule.
You are, yeah. You're truly a
People think
actress.
I don't work. I like work so hard.
No, I will dispel that rumor.
Yeah, thank you.
I will. Dasha has been going out on auditions, writing screenplays, working since I've met her. She's a real working girl. No, seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Sure.
Dasha is always up in the morning. You text me when we're like having like a recording day. You will text me at like 9 a.m, and I'm not even up yet.
Yeah.
Because
I get up in the morning.
Going to auditions.
I'm an ambitious person.
Yeah.
So, and we've had jobs before. We both have had jobs before. That's what I really resent.
Yeah, I've worked really... I'm not an ambitious person, unfortunately, but I've worked shitty jobs my whole life. I don't even have to defend this.
Yeah. You should go on Adderall. It'd make you more ambitious. What's your moon in? Do you know your full chart?
My moon, I don't remember. I do know my full chart.
Because I have an Aries moon, and that's, I think, is what motivates me.
I mean, I can do my chart right now. I don't really want to.
No. That's not what this episode is about. It's about Euphoria.
Yeah.
The show for looking at your phone.
Yeah, and buying like fucking pleather booties on Forever 21. No, so Liz Warren, she's some right-wing trolls basically held a fake press conference and accused her of hiring a former Marine turned escort to pleasure her on the campaign trail.
To finger her?
Yeah. But okay. I think this is probably an odd
What's the problem?
Well, there's no problem. Liz did something uncharacteristic and like tweeted "Go Cougars," which was like kind of a sly. People are reading it as like a sly.
Wait, Cougars? Why did she?
It's the team of her alma mater.
Okay.
So they're reading it as like a little dig at the trolls.
She's a cougar and proud of it.
But the funniest take that I heard was from my friend Andrea, who said that this is like a psyop from the Warren campaign itself to inject libido into her candidacy.
Ooh, yeah.
I like that take.
Totally. No, I mean, endears her to me.
Yeah.
Frankly, I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's endearing to watch her fumble and stumble through doing like Trump level nonlinear e-warfare. It's very cute.
Do you think it's true?
No, but if it was, I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
What's the harm? It's not like she was getting her like knob slobbed in the Oval Office.
Yeah. That's what the male whores are there for.
Yeah. But that's another thing.
But I bet it's not true. I don't
think it's true. She's a happily married 70-year-old woman.
Yeah, there's no way she's getting off. Like, you can't. Sex is so distracting. Horniness is a disease. I say this all the time.
It would be cool to like not be horny for.
I would love to not be horny.
Does Adderall makes you less horny?
No, it makes me more horny. Unfortunately.
Maybe I should go on Adderall.
Can you be more horny? Can you handle it?
I guess. But I just like, I'm such a layabout to really starting to wear on the people. You have a boyfriend.
You're lucky. You have a boyfriend. Yesterday was International Boyfriend Day.
Oh yeah, happy International Boyfriend Day to my boyfriend, who I'm very proud of and love.
Oh, congrats, Eli, on being up in the Uncut Gems soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
we also both watched Uncut Gems.
Oh yeah. What did you think?
I loved it.
I'm not allowed to say anything negative.
Me neither.
About this movie me neither. For professional purposes. So I'm gonna,
if the Safdie brothers are listening, don't all cast me at once. boys. There's plenty of me to go around. You can all cast me in your film. That's literally me at New York Film Festival. I'm like meeting directors, being like, no, you can. Yeah, you get to cast me. So,
like, do you have a question?
Like up in Q&A's, like, do you want to put me in your movie? I legitimately thought it was great. I'm not, and you know, exciting and fun and all that stuff. I auditioned for the role that Julia Fox plays, which in retrospect is so funny.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
If like it was me, like some demented waif instead of like
yeah, like a fat booty cutie.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I want to be so insane if I was in that movie.
I want to see the list of girls who auditioned for that. You know, Emrata was up in there. Every like skinny hot little bitch was up in there auditioning for that part because it's a good part. I thought Julia Fox was really good. I think she did that whole like tri-state.
Yeah, I mean that's
hoe thing really well. She's like every girl I grew up with in New Jersey.
I mean that's what she's kind of like.
That's she was really good.
All the casting was shout out to Jennifer Vendetti.
Yeah, the casting
for the casting because it was amazing. All those
like
JEWs,
face
big
tattoos
time.
was incredible, and then I was like, oh wait, that's the drug dealer from Euphoria. I'm like getting my like.
Vendetti casted Euphoria as well.
Oh, okay. So
I also auditioned for Euphoria.
Okay.
Which is also hilarious.
17-year-old.
Well, they had a very like I think expansive casting process where they like
they auditioned every girl who'd ever stepped foot in like an M&Z store.
And they had a very the casting process was very much like, so what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you? Like tell us now. It wasn't like sides, it was like real. They wanted to find like real, authentic, tortured teens like me
to exploit them.
What's a teen
real,
like me?
Authentic, troubled 28-year-old teens.
What's a teen like me doing in a place like this? So I like, there's some tape of me in Vendetti's office, like talking about being addicted to benzos and like trying to generate some kind of troubled persona.
No, but the movie was good.
Mm-hmm.
I had an idea for an essay based on this movie that I have to wait a few months to expound on. I promise it won't be a negative critique, but I can't. I'm legally obligated. I signed it.
You can't.
I signed an NDA with Eli that I will not say anything negative about any of his professional ventures. My only critique was that I went to the screening on Rosh Hashanah. It was like a room full of Hebes, like all these producers, financiers.
I'm
like
telling you, the high holidays.
The high holidays.
I was like, meaningless. These secular.
Shame on you. Shame on you. What are you doing screening an anti-Semitic film like Uncut Gems on the high holidays?
Oh my God, Anna.
Shame on you, Safdie brothers. No.
It's not anti-Semitic.
It's really hilarious, but Dasha, this is what I'm dying for. I am dying for somebody like Barry Weiss, like one of these like kind of centrist, semi-conservative pundits, to write a review in a major publication calling the film anti-Semitic.
Well,
so we can all get a few laughs.
Jewish Worker, which I guess is a magazine of some kind, did tweet about how it was anti-Semitic and like
literally not.
How it's ill-timed in the time of rising anti-Semitism for fucking Adam Sandler to play an anti-Semitic stereotype. And I was like, what? More like the annoying worker. Like, shut the fuck up.
This just goes to show that even among Jews, there's a lot of hatred for Sephardic people. This is Ashkenazi on Sephardic hatred.
The Safdies are Sephardic, no?
They are, yeah, I think so.
They are?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you think Benny or Josh is hotter?
That's a hard question. I mean, I'd probably have sex with them both at the same time, ideally. Mm-hmm. I like the Beardo because he looks like that sexy caveman from the Geico commercials. I'm like turned on by that aesthetic.
Yeah, they're both hot. Benny's a little too like healthy, like rosy cheeked for me.
Clean cut. He's too clean cut.
I'm more of a Josh kind of girl.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack. Shout out to Dan LePatin, friend of the pod. Amazing sound. I saw it at like a special screening in like the Dolby whatever.
So
it was like it was like the Q&A was like very much about the sound, which was great. Which was loud and great and like layered and anxiety inducing and all of that stuff.
Yeah, it was very intense and anxiety inducing.
How about that ending? You were shocked.
It was shocking.
It was shocking.
We shouldn't spoil the
no,
ending.
God,
really
no.
bad.
I wouldn't do that. It's not even.
Like
it's gonna
months before the movie actually comes out in theaters, we ruin it for everybody, or at least like whatever.
That would be truly chaotic if we did that.
People who listen to the podcast. Yeah, but anyway, I'm very proud of Eli.
I'm also proud of Eli. He's a good boy to you, and he's a good friend of the pod, and we love him.
Real industry Hebe.
God bless them. I love being in the fucking film industry. I love those heebs. I love the gays. I love, I feel like
the entertainment arts, as you call it, is the nexus of Jews and gays.
And that's like exactly
people.
where I belong. Yep.
As much as we hate the Jews sometimes.
We don't.
We don't. But they're the best people.
Anna's Jewish. She's allowed to do. She's allowed to do self-deprecating anti-Semitism. I won't say anything. I love them.
Yeah.
Look forward to my next Jewish boyfriend. Can't wait to meet him.
I wonder who it'll be.
So Euphoria, huh?
Euphoria.
What'd you think overall?
I liked it. I came into it expecting to hate it. Listen, it's not the best show in the world. It's not kind of like groundbreaking television, but it's pretty good as far as television goes.
I just don't like my problem is I don't like TV, really, which I know is pretentious.
Why don't you like TV? Because you feel like it's diluting this cinematic arts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's less, it feels so formulaic, and like there's stylistic things that happen in it that make me feel cynical and that remind me of like, the machinery of it.
Wait, keep going on that tangent. I like the stylistic things that make you feel cynical.
Yeah, like I'm like, it's so clear to me like what they're doing. Like imagine the mood board. It makes me think about like mood boards and execs and like the decision making process of like producing television, and the fact that TV is basically designed for kind of like, for people under capitalism to dissociate from the misery of their lives so that they can like endure another work day. That's like Adorno ass like
binge watch, which is a disgusting word. It's a really gross word to associate television with like consuming food.
Yeah.
That like gross.
Binging in general. But no one should binge if they're not purging afterwards. You
gotta purge.
You can't purge watch.
But you can see, you're right, you can see it like very kind of like it makes plain or brings into sharp relief like the kind of underlying operating structure.
Yeah.
I'm so hungover I can't.
No, this is that's the idea about like the nuts, the dialectic of enlightenment. Like Adorno. It's like that's what the culture industry is, and like TV is to me the most like refined version of that.
And now there's this emphasis.
People are so miserable, they just want to binge watch some depraved thing.
Well, now, and there's even like kind of so much meta commentary. It's laden with meta commentary, and TV is like in some sense the perfect format for this. Like there's a scene in Euphoria where Zendaya's character Rue is depressed and she binge watches 22 episodes of reality TV. Yeah. And the narration is talking about how reality TV is the perfect medium because she doesn't want a story or characters. She just wants to dissociate, basically.
Right.
But it is like Euphoria. It was really interesting to watch Euphoria back to back with Uncut Gems because they're basically doing a similar thing. Like Uncut Gems much more expertly because it's like more
a film is just
it's a more kind of serious
it's giving you an experience of a reality.
But this is,
or it's like it's committed to world building in a dignified way, or something.
It's like reading a book. I mean, people can attack these kind of archaic media as much as they want, but there's a reason we keep coming back to them. But both of these cultural products are doing the same thing, which is kind of creating a cinema of memes that is super like hyper referential, that is meta narrative based, and that is basically kind of compiled of memes and references in a way. And it relies on kind of extra artistic devices. So basically the interesting thing with something like Uncut Gems, right, is that you're not necessarily tuning in for the story of Howard Ratner. You're tuning in to see Adam Sandler, this famous comedian and celebrity, play a Diamond District Jew, like now more than ever.
For sure. Yeah.
Which is like an interesting kind of postmodern device that I think is unintentional. I don't think anybody like set out to make it be that way.
Yeah.
And
no, yeah. It's just a byproduct
the ending of that movie. That ending is about that shocking ending.
That's great, Anna.
I
look forward to your essay.
I really want to write a piece on this. I might get on the Adderall, but Euphoria is the same, and it's easier to carry it through in Euphoria because it is like literally a TV series, so it's broken up into segments.
I thought the pilot was atrocious, honestly. The first episode. Yeah. I was like, God damn it.
All pilots suck out.
Exactly. So. But then the episodes Sam Levinson directed, the second, I think 5 episodes, and those are well done and like impactful, and like I can see like him making good decisions. It's just I don't like TV. Which I shouldn't say as an actress.
But you like an actress. Prestige TV. Like you like Sopranos and Curb and all that shit.
Yeah. No, there's TV shows I like. I mean,
what's your like TV show du jour?
Twin Peaks, I guess. Twin Peaks,
okay.
That's like the highest form, I think, of TV. But I don't know. Yeah, I just really don't watch TV. It just isn't part of really my life. Oh, I like Succession a lot.
I'm gonna have to watch that now.
That's like
binge watch.
My dream would be to be cast on Succession. Well, if like I could be on a TV show, that's like the world I would want to like play in or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also, I don't think Euphoria is for Zoomers.
It's not. That's the
thing.
The show was clearly written. I had this insight. The show was clearly written for adults to understand what it's like to be a teenager. And of course, some Zoomers do watch it because they just inevitably watch and consume a lot of media.
Right.
So it's incidental.
But I don't think it is an accurate reflection of Zoomer reality whatsoever.
No, not at all.
There's not even an autistic person on
there. There is not. And they really ticked the one good thing I can say about Euphoria that I really liked is that they ticked all the boxes. Like they kind of played by the rules. They have like a trans person, a fat person, a mixed chick who's like
bisexual. Yeah.
A closeted gay guy. They have like this whole kind of menagerie of pro woke types.
The focus grouping
they focus grouped it basically, but they have resisted at the same time the need to like moralize in a woke way. They don't really necessarily tell you what to think. They don't know. I mean, it's like these teens, they do bad and fucked up things, but there isn't any kind of like, so far, there isn't any kind of like woke politics that's being thrust down your throat.
Yeah. Well, it's very salacious. It's like, that's sort of the point of it, I think, is to titillate rather than to moralize.
Right.
But I do think with the fat girl, it does have this like empowerment kind of narrative. Like her storyline is sort of about feeling empowered as being a fat person.
Really? Wait, hold on. But see, I didn't read it that way. I read it as a relatively like pathetic and hilarious trajectory of going from being a fat loser to a fanfic writer on Tumblr to like inevitably a cam girl. Like there's something you
by the way, if my pay pig is still listening, like can you get in touch with me? Literally, because like she becomes
everything on my
she becomes a financial dominant.
Yeah.
My pig is gone. Haven't heard from him in weeks. And I need him back because I want things. Dead. I want money for when I go to Paris.
Yeah.
And I want my pig to give it to me. You little dick loser. Small dick loser pays to come. Okay. No, that's a fair take.
I think that you can read it both ways. Like you can read it as this annoying, moralizing empowerment narrative, but you can also read it for what it is, which is like kind of empty and depressing in reality, because all of these things, all kind of online involvement is ultimately empty and depressing.
Sure.
And these kids.
Well, what happens with her? What ends up happening?
She gets empowered and starts dressing like Adelia's catalog.
Yeah, her glow up
like
is
some Zana
pathetic.
Bane harnesses from 2008. Yeah, and then starts like fucking and sucking with guys, like randomly having sexual encounters.
She fucked that carny or something.
She fucks the carny. She fucks the nice boy who sits next to her in class.
Oh yeah.
And he's the only one who like actually like eats her out and gives her pleasure.
Ooh, right. I remember seeing that in my fucked up
in your hate.
I watch Euphoria like I'm on Euphoria.
Yes,
I'm like I'm like doing fentanyl basically. I'm like trying to figure out what's going on in this show.
But like she basically she realizes that empowerment is empty and demoralizing and actually disempowering. Mm-hmm. But there's no kind of like, above board woke scoldy narrative about trans and fat acceptance.
Totally. No, the storytelling is straightforward, which I can get behind.
And it actually made me think that actually woke politics in a way is also about salaciousness and titillation. Like people are curious about how fat or trans people fuck on some level. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like they're morbidly perversely curious. I mean, people are curious about how all other people fuck in a certain to a certain extent, and like a lot of woke politics is much like Me Too. There's kind of like a moralizing veneer for what is basically morbid curiosity and salacious interest.
You see this also with like evangelical Christians, like religious extremists, and like the way that they fixate on depictions of like sinfulness. And like there's this documentary Hell House about like the fundamentalist Christians who make like a haunted house that's like about going to hell, but they're so obsessed with like with depicting like the horrible sins and the abortions and everything. It's like they fixate on it in a similarly like morbid way. Yeah,
because they're titillated and horny by the thought of getting your genitals flogged in.
Did like Euphoria make you horny?
An inflamed landscape. A little bit, but not excessively.
Yeah, it made me pretty horny. Gotta be honest.
There's a lot of like nudity and sex.
Yeah. That's not how teens, like the thing really that I would love to see is like how horrifying sex is when you're a teenager.
Yeah.
And the fact that these like TV teens are so like articulate about their fears and anxieties is like not
at all plausible. And I mean, the thing is like all these millennial showrunners who make shows about teens have forgotten what it's like to be a teen. I barely remember.
Yeah, exactly. These like Gen X millennial cuspers trying to like depict Zoomer reality is really there really should have been a autistic neurodivergent part. Like I would have I don't know. I think like if you're really going to try and depict the lives of teens,
where is the wheelchair?
Where is the, autistic Catholic one? Where's the
Dasha, are you trying to write yourself into the show?
I'm simply too old.
All of those people are like 24.
I know. Yeah. And they're like oversexed, playing these like oversexed teens.
Yeah. And they're, but like kind of also sexless. Like they have all the like accoutrement trappings of sexuality, but they don't convey necessarily any real libido, which I think is the point. Like I like the treatment of the Rue character because she's so kind of dead inside from all the drugs and all the
but at the same time I don't really care about Rue's plight.
Well, that's an interesting thing that it actually it's interesting because Rue is a character who is morally ambiguous and not necessarily likable, and those are my favorite characters, unlikable characters that you have a weird sympathy for. I mean, Tony Soprano,
sure,
Kenny Powers, Larry David, all kind of
classic anti-hero
great
stuff.
Anti-heroes. And with Rue, I simply, you're right, don't care about her storyline or narrative. I care way more about the other characters' narratives. They're more interesting.
Which storyline was the most intriguing to you?
That's a good question. Probably
the boy. I liked the angry, closeted boy.
Yeah, that's probably the most meaty one.
Yeah, and he hits his girlfriend and stuff, or he chokes her.
Yeah,
and then he meets up with the trans, and he tells her, he like blackmails her, and his dad is like trans amorous or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like that's like compelling. The one I hate the big titty girl and her storyline of like her boyfriend thinks she's a slut, but like is she a slut or not? Like so, like I was like,
wanted
who fucking
to be liked and fell in love with every guy that she was with.
Also, I thought it was a fucking cop out that her dad was dead, because I really want another thing I'd love to see on TV. In addition to Aspergian people, it would be like this is a note I wrote to myself when I was fucking drunk as hell. I wrote, the big titty girl's dad is dead, so he doesn't even have to confront her big titties. But I think what I'm getting at is like, I want to see like father-daughter, like incest, like anxieties depicted. And I think the fact that like
he dies.
I
also think the way that they handled his death is, or he disappeared. It's kind of, they left it up to us to just, it's like Tony Soprano, did he or didn't he? But I really think he should have just died in the car crash instead of become a opiate addict.
Yeah,
I didn't like that arc. It was kind of
it's just there because they're trying to fit in all these like
different
aspects of contemporary
groups.
Yeah, they're like, and people
Elements.
do opiates and people, you know.
And I love the Cassie storyline about all she ever wanted to be was a professional figure skater, and then her huge tits thwarted her dreams of doing like triple axels because she's just like weighed down.
Yeah,
there's a certain like lack of narrative continuity and plausibility in the character arcs of the characters interacting with their parents. I love Cassie's drunk mom though.
Oh yeah, totally.
Or like Tina Fey, Sarah Palin, like Marianne Williamson, drunk ass hoe mom.
Totally.
What does she tell the black boyfriend? It's kind of hard to keep her attention, just like mom or whatever.
Yeah, that rocks.
Yeah.
And and her sister is Judd Apatow's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, how's rehab? That's me. That's how I'm gonna be when I'm a mom.
Yeah, like
I'm gonna send my kids to boarding school. And then when
to the WeWork
mommy
school.
needs,
the Wing will probably open a boarding school by then. We'll send our daughters to the Wing.
Girl Boss Academy.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
I know everybody was kind of talking about how hot the Nate character. He's like if Jake from 16 Candles was also Patrick Bateman, that guy, the Nate's hot closeted one.
Yeah, he is hot. I like the mole on his stomach.
Yeah, I love that the child actor they cast to play his young self also had a mole on his stomach. Like they really nailed that one. Yeah. For me, it was all about the stupid little Mac Miller wigger with a heart of gold.
Oh my god! Yeah, he was a good character.
So hot.
He was hot. Yeah. I
love his scraggly beard. I love chicken shit wigger like Post Malone, Kid Rock.
Stop, Anna. You've said wigger so many times on this episode.
But I like that narrative because there's a scene where she's basically beating down his door.
Yeah, that was very powerful.
It was a powerful scene.
Good acting.
And she says, drug addicts always do this. They'll start with, I had a bad day, please. Then they'll insult you. You're a drug dealer who sells drugs to teens. And then they'll blame you. You did this to me.
Yeah.
They always do that. And he says in episode 6, he tells her, you're a drug addict. I don't take anything and he says, I don't take nothing drug addicts say personally. I'm gonna do it in my own.
Cool.
Because I don't believe drug addicts. I love you, I hate you, you the best, go fuck yourself. It's all the same shit. You just looking for an angle in. And I was like, yes, that's powerful TV writing.
That's good stuff. So true.
It's like Lana Del Rey lyrics, the best type of cliche. Because it's true, we've all been around addicts.
Yeah.
And they're always just looking for an angle in. They're always trying to get up in the house to steal
your laptop,
silverware. Yeah, or your laptop.
Yeah. Fuck, man. I didn't hear that part. I probably watched it, but I wasn't. in a euphoria like state up with my roommate Kyle doing God knows what, drinking White Claw.
Like basically reliving like a rave scene in Euphoria. What did you think of the trans character?
I thought she was good. I don't know. I thought she was a good actress. I didn't have, I think people really applauded it for the way it like depicted her. I wasn't like, I don't know. I'm not going to pat them on the back for it. I think it was fine. What happens with her? Her and Rue are gay together?
They sort of embark on a quasi relationship, but she basically
I'm bisexual.
Aren't we all? She meets guys like Dominant Daddy, who it turns out is Nate's.
Right. I know that. And then what happens later?
And then Nate blackmails her because he is in love with her but also hates her.
He's transamorous but also transphobic.
Yeah, because she brings out all these confusing impulses in him.
Mm-hmm. She says, I think you're a faggot just like your daddy. I love that.
I love that.
That's good TV writing.
Love that for you.
What ends up happening though? She's okay.
I think the last time I checked, she went to some party with a bunch of cool lesbians and made out with another hot mixed chick who, quote, reminds her of Rue. That's where I left it.
Okay.
It's unclear what happens to her. I'm just worried that Fezco is going to get killed by the guy with the face tattoos, who's also an impeccable
really
actor.
Scary.
He's
actor.
really scary.
Ooh.
It actually literally reminds me of the kind of guys I used to hang out with when I was in high school and was desperately fleeing my dysfunctional upbringing and would literally go to weird motels and have sex with shitty, creepy guys.
Yeah.
And like,
God,
I look back on that time and think like, what the fuck was I doing in like a strip mall strewn New Jersey?
Oh my fucking God. Las Vegas?
Yeah, which is basically New Jersey with palm trees or vice versa. Las Vegas with snow.
Dark.
Yeah, it was like a really dark time being a teen.
Darker than Euphoria, honestly.
Well, that's the thing, that Euphoria kind of plays with it but doesn't really convey what it's like growing up in kind of an economically depressed but seemingly normal suburban sprawl, where you have this weird mixture of legitimately poor people,
right,
like immigrants, minorities, trailer trash, like white trash, and then also aspirational strivers who work jobs in the city and commute every day.
Yeah.
And it's a very
McMansion or whatever.
Yeah, and it's a very like bourgeois, scary upbringing, and also very legitimately multicultural. And they somehow fail to convey that in Euphoria, even though they have this like really diverse
because they almost treat it as such a novelty when it's actually, I don't know, so
par for the course.
Yeah, it's so widespread and ordinary and banal, actually, and like not unique to the current young generation.
Yeah, it's something that has been around for since the inception of like contemporary America. Yeah. But a show that I don't personally love all that much, but that did that well, is Breaking Bad. The casting was really good on that. Sure.
No, Breaking Bad was, I guess, I mean, I watched it. But that's the thing. It's just TV is so manipulative.
It is. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
It's so, it's like aims are so, I don't know. They lack the virtue of the
boyfriend
cinematic art.
Yeah.
No, like gaslights you into continuing to watch it. So again, I'll reiterate so that you can like go to work again, so you can like wake up the next day and go to sheeple. Wake up, sheeple. No, of course. I mean, people watch TV. It's great. Good for them.
Yeah, I would love to see a faithful adaptation of life in one of these like nameless, faceless suburban shitholes.
Films can accomplish that.
Yeah.
But that's not how TV is designed.
Yeah, I guess its seriality is its blessing and its curse. I also thought it was like the treatment of like the post 9/11 landscape was rather shallow. I would have liked more about that, because she has like OCD, BPD, anxiety, etc., etc. She's like medicated, and then becomes a drug addict. She has panic attacks. She's literally like if Tony Soprano was a hot mixed chick, but yet you feel no sympathy for her. And that's in the pilot.
Yeah, that's like she describes like remembering 9/11 when she was a child, and that being this like. But yeah, it is like shallow. You're right.
But that's kind of the most interesting thing about like Zoomer culture. It's this like whole Fukuyama end of history thing.
Totally.
Like ominous, like a generation of people who grew up with no historical narrative or historical continuity, like no sense of anything that came before them, and therefore can't possibly imagine anything that'll come after.
A true kind of nihilism, definitely. Yeah, that doesn't really, they're just having a little too much fun, these teens.
Yeah. And there's no another problem with Sephora with Euphoria. Sephoria.
We're gonna call the episode Sephoria.
Oh shit, we should, because I was literally scrolling through Sephora.
Yeah,
on the phone and on my laptop, buying vitamin C peels.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, another thing. Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
When I'm done shooting this TV show, I'm gonna go. This is totally not applicable to anything.
Related.
I'm gonna go really blonde, and I'm gonna get eyelash extensions.
You should. I really loved you blonde. We met when you were platinum blonde.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go platinum. I'm just gonna, because I want to do period stuff.
What does that have to do with anything?
I won't get cast in period stuff if I have like shocking platinum hair.
Yeah.
I want to have like long, normal girl hair.
Okay.
So that I can be more diverse.
More
versatile is what I meant. I meant versatile. Very hungover. Sorry.
Fuck. I had such a good
sorry.
thought. No, it's fine.
Didn't mean to start talking about my beautiful blonde hair.
Yeah. No, it's not your fault. I like lost the train of thought before that. But something about Sephoria, whatever. Anyway. Moving on. There's also a lot of they did this like very ham-fisted version of what all HBO shows do, which is include clips from other HBO shows as a kind of like meta nod to HBO the brand.
Yeah, which HBO shows?
Like let's see, I have a whole running list here.
I did not think it was believable that one of the Hispanic girl who's hairless, the Nate's girlfriend, Maddie, the way she was into Sharon Stone in Casino.
Yeah, a girl like that doesn't know anything about Sharon Stone.
She's obsessed with Sharon Stone in Casino.
It's clearly some Jewish girl writing that into the script because she grew up, in the 90s and 2000s.
The whole thing is like, that's the whole thing. It's actually about like millennial Gen X cusp guilt.
Yeah.
And like being titillated by teens, but not actually depicting anything,
and then burdening them with your references that have nothing to do with their reality. Literally no Zoomer has ever watched Casino. A film that I watched with my father, rest in peace, many times.
Wow.
It's a Gen X millennial.
In my Uncut Gems audition tape, I incidentally did, because I knew it was written for Julia Fox, clearly.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not gonna be like, travel with a weekend. That's not really a plausible voice for me to speak in. So I did a Sharon Stone Casino thing where I just did kind of like, oh, Howie, like lilting waif, which wouldn't have worked at all.
Yeah.
But I love Sharon Stone in Casino.
I do too. That's one of my great role models.
Same.
I mean, Eli is straight up my Sam Rothstein.
Aww.
He really is. That's what friend of the pod, my best friend Tim, said in a very derisive way, because he was basically calling me a whore. But anyway,
in retrospect, when I was going to get married, we wanted to have like a kind of casino-esque wedding
in Vegas. Yeah,
because
that's my biggest regret about you guys not. Just to make it about myself, my biggest regret that you guys didn't get married, because I would have loved to be up in that Vegas casino themed wedding.
Yeah,
all the men are looking like Hosni Mubarak on a billboard trying to do their best De Niro.
In retrospect, not the best mood board for a wedding.
Yeah. But you're right. This show feels like a giant mood board or focus group. It basically reads like a long-winded music video.
Yeah.
And it's like literally 40% of the show is girls like riding high on the handlebars of bikes.
Yeah.
A lot of
music
girls
plays.
biking. Yeah.
Lots of like fun eye makeup.
Yeah, it's like an aesthetic that they plucked from Petra Collins and like airdropped into Final Cut or whatever they're using.
The thing with the eye makeup, roommate Kyle brought this up because I was like, why are they doing this eye makeup thing? And Kyle was like, oh, because their only real reference for Zoomers is Instagram.
Yeah.
And like girls on Instagram do makeup tutorials and fun makeup stuff. But like out in the world, like
dipshit glitter makeup.
If you went to a high school, maybe now life imitates art. And like, I'm sure more people are doing Euphoria-esque
There's
eye makeup.
There's an Adorno essay for you. Like, to what extent does
eye makeup,
like eye makeup, like Instagram aesthetics that girls do play dress up with in their bedroom, to what extent does that actually trickle then into real life?
I mean, I think it takes something like Euphoria to like kind of refract it back into culture to then, but I really think like prior to Euphoria, if you went to like a high school, people wouldn't be dressing like they do on Instagram.
No, God, no.
Right? Maybe I'm out of touch.
Jules, the trans character, is literally she's like Steve Bannon wearing like 3 Eckhouse Lotta turtlenecks at once. I'm like, bitch, how do you afford this shit?
Yeah.
Who's wearing Eckhouse Lotta?
They're also
in a suburban high school.
Is she literally wearing Eckhouse Lotta?
Yeah, it says Eckhouse Lotta. She's wearing the tie-dye like patchwork.
Come on.
Turtlenecks.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's the cynicism I feel as I'm like, oh, like a stylist. Someone really did their job styling this. It's like, I know it's supposed to be stylish. I know that's like the point. But to me, teens are fucking dumpy and weird and scared. Like teens are scared.
Yeah.
And like anxious and not in like a glamorous, like mental hospital BPD way. They're
like girl interrupted way.
No, like the real life of teens is like painful and scary and lonely and like really lonely
and potential for humiliation. It's like Afghanistan, like you can trip and fall on a landmine and your leg gets blown off, like in the social circles that you run in. It's like
totally
crazy. Nobody is like sexily and frankly describing their drug addiction while like sporting impeccable bedhead.
No, of course not. Yeah, like the VO really, I think that's the thing that bothered me the most was all of the like fucking
first,
cloying.
My mom crushed me with her birth canal, and then I was thrust into the world.
Like cloying ass, like precocious voiceover monologuing. Not for me.
Well, and I think that that's also a cheap device because they have to speed the narrative along. So they have the Rue character narrate over the whole thing instead of developing the story.
It's called show don't tell. It's one of the first rules of cinematic storytelling. Drama.
Well, interestingly, the same sort of like fragmented continuity is like a feature of Uncut Gems, but they don't over explain it. So you're left to kind of suture the pieces together. Yeah, which adds to like the intensity and like mania of the
you're
experience.
Thrust into it, and then you just have to
Also, another good thing about that show was the wardrobe, or that movie, that show. Tune in for Uncut Gems miniseries on Netflix. Coming to Hulu.
God, the wardrobe, fantastic.
It was great. Whoever did the wardrobe did a great, stunning job.
I think Uncut Gems, not to suck up to the Safdies or anything, but as I was watching it, I was like, oh, these images will be like iconic. Like it has
memorable. Do you think it's an Oscar contender?
I don't know. I don't know enough about really the awards circuit. I think so. But I don't know
that hierarchy. The Joker.
Well, my friend Mike Spreeder, we're talking about it and how someone on Twitter was like, can you imagine being in a world where Uncut Gems could win an Oscar? And he was like, we are in that. Like A24 now is like that's what people think are good movies. That's why The Goldfinch is a fucking flop, because it's still like trying to do this old model of like prestige dramatic movie, like sweeping epic, like, and that's very Miramax, like that's very Weinstein, and that's like not what we're doing
it's
anymore.
Maximalist. And now the new kind of upstarts are literally Ari Aster and the Safdie brothers.
And I'm saying, and I said,
move over, industry heaves. There's some new Jews in town.
I've been saying this, and I mean it, that like I do think that ultimately a win for the Safdies is a win for everyone in the milieu, in the world that I want to make films in, because I think that and maybe this will be one of the best consequences of the post-Weinstein era, is that the middle, like the gap will close between like mega budget movies and like micro budget, no budget movies. And like maybe there will be more incentive to finance like decent medium budget
films.
And
this is like maybe across the board, but I think in this new system, which is kind of like a new feudal system, you have like real potential for like independent producers and creators. I'm sorry I said that word, to thrive.
I feel optimistic.
Yeah. If
Uncut Gems made me feel optimistic. I don't know about this, the film industry.
Well, yeah, and there's a reason that people have shifted their interest from film to television. I just saw on Twitter that Martin Scorsese called Marvel movies theme parks and said that they're, quote, not cinema. And I was like, yeah, Marty has a point, but dude, you made The Departed. And I don't care what people say. That movie is shameful if you look at Goodfellas and Casino, two of the greatest films ever made in America, like in the world, let alone America, which is not known for its cinema exactly. But like, and now he's making The Irishman. It's like literally as somebody on Twitter pointed out, it's like literally 3 hours of that scene in Curb where Larry is playing a Jewish mobster under Marty's direction.
Fuck. I mean, we haven't seen The Irishman.
I can listen. I know that's
how I'm pronouncing it now. Yeah. The Irishman.
The Irishman. They should have called it the Mick. What were they thinking?
The fucking Mick. The Irish are a real problem.
Yeah, they really are. A bunch of drunks.
But no one does. I mean, that's not even necessarily a hot take.
No, but
that Marvel movies aren't cinema. Doesn't everyone sort of?
Yeah, everybody agrees, but like Marty, you're part of the problem now. Though he does produce smaller budget A24 stuff. He's a producer on Uncut Gems, Marty. So I guess that's his way of like paying it back and paying it forward.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm relieved that like the Miramax Weinstein model of movie making is over. It's not over. It's chugging along, but
no, now we
cares.
have this whole like now we still have Disney, obviously. We still have like it's still fucked.
But it's a thing that plays in the background, just like the fashion industry, which is something we said in the last episode. Nobody really cares anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Except for nerds. And as I've said, like nerds should be ostracized from discourse.
Yeah.
Fanboy culture
should be bullied.
Fanboy culture doesn't, they should be bullied and shamed. What else? Let me open up my
what else
misspelled psychotic notes.
Pull out those notes. My notes are too chaotic and messy to even parse. Yeah, I think to the credit of Euphoria, they did do kind of there were moments of like really good writing that gave us a window into kind of human psychology, especially the relationships between men and women, like the brittleness and fragility of the male ego.
Yeah.
For example, all the guys worrying about what their girlfriends wear and how they present themselves because they're socially timid in the face of their peers and their superiors.
Yeah.
And I thought that hazing scene where McKay and Cassie are having sex and all of his like football teammates they barge in and pummel him down to the floor while she's like screaming naked in bed. And afterward he roughs her up because they roughed him up. He like takes it out on her, but can't get it up initially because his ego has been emasculated in front of his girlfriend.
Right. Well, yeah, lots of commentary also about like the effects of pornography on people, like that's kind of a thesis in Euphoria. I felt like that everyone's having this like pornographic sort of sex.
Yeah.
And then,
do you think that's true? I mean, we'll never know because
I think so.
Can't visit the bedrooms of
teenagers.
Everyone else, let alone teenagers.
No,
Hopping on
I
that
think
Lolita Express.
No, I think, and from what I, based on my own experiences and what I hear from male friends of mine who fuck a lot, that like
fuck teenagers,
who fuck teens. Hey, shout out to. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I know I do have a friend who fucks a lot of teens actually, and I think that the norm is very much like slapping and choking and like that's all very par for the course. In most people's sexual encounters, I think they are very pornified or like influenced by pornography, and that's sort of normal.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know. Definitely. Because especially with, well, the thing about Zoomers is they're not fucking, right? Mostly.
Yeah, they're like sitting
Mostly they don't fuck, but the ones that
bedrooms.
do, I do think like because porn has been so extremely ubiquitous through their entire lives, that it has influenced their sexuality. Of course, how could it not? But I don't buy the way that like the male characters talk about girls on the show. This like, yeah, fucking slut, like woof woof woof, like yeah, bro. Like I like don't really think that's how like boys talk, or
About
like nothing that I've experienced in my life would like really reflect that. But I also am a coastal elite, and all my friends are faggots.
Yeah. And you're a woman, so you're not privy.
I'm not privy to the real locker room talk.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I just think like that also is a little heavy-handed and shallow to me.
I think my suspicion is that guys don't really talk about women.
I think I think girls talk about
guys
sex
and sex way more. Yeah, because men are very private and cautious, more so than women, because they have a lot more pride and ego.
Yeah,
to protect.
we're like, I'm like, you won't believe what happened to me last night.
Yeah.
All I know is
women, of course, discuss men and sex way more than men discuss women and sex. I think that like this idea that men get together and are like scrapping their girlfriends or hookups for parts is not really a thing. No. Nobody's like, yo, bro, her tits, her ass. Nobody says that. And women are
you
narcissistic
should have seen this
enough.
Pussy last night.
Yeah. And like women are so narcissistic, understandably, like guilty as charged, that we want men to be talking about us. And they're frankly not.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I'm like, do you tell your friends about me?
Like, no.
Bitch, no. Can you leave?
I know, like,
are you thinking about me?
Like definitely nobody talks about their girlfriend. What guys do talk about periodically is if they're like hanging out together and they see like a hot girl on the street, they will point it out to each other. That's about as bad as it gets.
Yeah. Right.
What else? The other thing that I thought was interesting with like the porn stuff is that porn is kind of like the flip side of woke politics because it's hyper representational. It's truly diverse. You can find anything on XTube or Pornhub or whatever,
and it's like so reflective of, I think, cultural anxieties and stuff.
Yeah, like the mores of
that's why cucking, I mean, I've heard that like cuckolding porn is the most popular kind of porn.
Whoa.
I don't know if that's true. I don't trust any of those stats.
Yeah. Like Vox stats, like Maddie Iglesias hunched over a spreadsheet, like compiling pornography stats.
I don't know.
Just doing this for work.
But I think that like obviously cuckolding is like about sort of racialized anxieties and, all this other male insecurity and stuff turning back on itself and like be sexualizing the humiliation and all of that.
Yeah.
Incest porn also very popular and increasingly.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, on the show, just again to its credit for not woke scolding or moralizing, they basically depict how all of these woke identity politics and such are weaponized, or even how sexual dynamics are weaponized. Like, for example, the narrative arc where
Maddie
blackmails Tyler, the 22-year-old that Maddie has consensual drunken sex with in a pool to spite him, to get back at him.
Well, he does more than blackmail him. He beats the shit out of him.
He beats the shit out of him, and then he blackmails him with the dangling the threat of a statutory rape charge,
right?
Because she's 17 and he's 22,
and Maddie lies about blacking out,
right,
to like protect herself.
So in that world, in that like cosmos, the this idea of like a relationship between a teenager and adult is weaponized in a really kind of cynical and manipulative way,
right?
Which is an interesting thing to depict on television, because we typically think of these things as like these horrible dynamics where teens are molested by older like elite pedophiles and people forget the way that like the back channels where there's like a lot of potential for using these things for advantageous political ends,
and there's context and circumstances that are and 17 is the age of consent in most states.
Also, there's nothing wrong with a 17-year-old having sex with a 22-year-old, like literally.
Of course.
And then Nate also blackmails Jules with a threat of a child pornography charge.
Because of nudes that she sent him.
She sent him, even though she's technically a child.
Yeah. But that is true. There are people who get in trouble for producing child pornography, for taking nudes when they were
really, that's
children.
insane.
Yeah. I have some nudes.
You have some 16-year-old
I have some teen nudes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are going to be worth a lot of money someday.
They're cool because I'm on birth control for the first time and my tits are kind of like puffy. And I'm really pale because I was goth.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they're whatever. I'm not going to get into it. I've dyed black hair and like pigtails.
Listen,
they're
if we
cool.
get really desperate, we'll throw them up on the Patreon. Introduce a new tier.
Yeah, they're taken on like a digital camera too. They're very, they're like
On
interesting.
a tripod. What else do we have to say?
We're over an hour.
Oh, whoa.
But I'm up for,
Oh yeah, the meta commentary, the kind of referential commentary on other shows. They do mention Casino and Fear, which are like the two movies. I think there's other movies that I missed. And then they also mention a real unbelievable thing is one of the families. I forgot if it was Cassie's or Maddie's family, but they're watching Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh yeah. Which
is like, those people don't watch Curb. Only coastal elite Jews and Jew lovers watch Curb.
Totally.
They're watching, they watch True Blood in the show. And then when Rue is threatening the young guy who's macking on her sister, she mentions all like the characters from The Wire.
Okay, we see you, HBO.
Yeah, so they're just like, but they're doing it in a really kind of like inelegant, ham-fisted way this time around, because usually they're much more subtle with seeding shows into shows.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but it also and then it's like this HBO reality.
Yeah.
It's HBO world.
Yeah, it's like its own. But I think now a lot of the pleasure of like consuming the moving image will be about picking up on those references. Like, again, like, they...
Easter eggs.
Yeah, like them. They cited Curb or True Blood, or like, wow, that's Adam Sandler playing a Diamond District dealer.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the fascination for a lot of people. Because there's literally like a fragmentation of historical continuity.
Right.
Anyway, I also like that they say retarded on the show a lot. That's
someone has to.
Yeah.
That's a win for us for sure.
Yeah.
Destigmatize saying retarded. That's why I'm excited to go to France.
Oh,
retard.
Je suis retard and retard.
Oh.
That's French.
Well, we're gonna see The Joker today.
Yeah, we'll be back.
More
with
on that
reviews.
later. We're trying to stockpile some eps before I go. So lucky you guys. Anything else?
No, that's all I have to say.
Are you gonna finish watching Euphoria? You're gonna watch the last episode?
Yeah, I will. Why not?
Yeah.
There's one more.
I'm already.
Is it the season finale or no? No.
Yeah.
It is.
No, the show's over.
Oh, forever.
I'm
kidding.
sure
It's probably back for
it's
season
definitely
2.
gonna have a season 2. People, we watched it so late. It's like not even really a cultural phenom anymore.
Really exposing ourselves as boomers.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm afraid about what's happening with these teens. Is this okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah, wait, I have one more question.
Yeah.
What do you think of Zendaya?
Not my fave.
Okay. I was just thinking about,
but I don't know. Weird. I have like probably some misplaced hostility towards her for petty actress reasons or something. I like don't, you know.
Well, because Roommate,
I don't think she's a fantastic actress. I think she has moments.
She's not that great. Yeah, but Roommate in front of the pod, Emily pointed out that she was one of the people launching the attack against Marc Jacobs when he had runway models with dreadlocks, which I think is hilarious. So she's also woke. That's why I was asking.
Of course she's woke.
Yeah.
Of course.
But I won't extrapolate on that because it's boring.
Yeah.
Nobody cares anyway.
I think she's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. See you in hell.
See you in hell.